Logitech surprised us with 3 new products for streamers today, and I had to dig in and rip this thing open. Maybe dug in a little bit too hard, actually made a little bit of a ding in this guy, but I bought it myself, so we're gonna give it away at the end of this video. Someone who likes, comments, and subscribes, this is gonna be yours. I'll announce it in 1 week. I gotta figure out how I announce those. Where do I announce it? Twitter? Maybe you announce it in a video. I'll find you. But it fascinates me. The Yeti used to be the king of USB microphones, and then Blue/Logitech just kind of stopped touching it. Until today, when they released the Yeti GX and the Yeti Orb and a new light, the Litra LX, which is definitely my favorite of the 3 of these things. But we're gonna go over all 3. I'm gonna tell you the good things, I'm gonna tell you the bad things, and then what I think about them. Let's jump into it before I turn into a ball of sweat. Hey, so before we jump into this, I want to share with you a free and easy way to turn your live streams into clips and compilations for your social media platforms. And then also there's a $25 giveaway at the end of the sponsor segment. If you haven't heard of Sizzle.gg yet, they're the sponsor of today's video, and they're also a great and free way to turn your live streams into other social media content. They will take your live streams and cut it into clips and compilations for your social media content, and you don't have to know anything about how to edit. They just do it for you. Just go to my link in the description down below, sign up for a free account, and then link it with your Twitch or YouTube channel. And then Sizzle will watch and analyze your stream to find the best moments and just cut them into compilations for you. It's like a free editing robot. In fact, this robot is so sophisticated that you can even tell it you specifically want to find kills or headshots or knockdowns or sniper kills or victories. How this works is when you're done streaming, you go to Sizzle.gg and you select one of your live streams for it to edit for you. You let it know what game you were playing, and then it just does the rest. And then with a single click, you can just share it straight to social media platforms, whether horizontal or vertical, and then just enjoy your free content. Use it to not only bring new people into your streams, but also make some ad revenue on other platforms. I've personally been hyper-focusing lately on finding ways to diversify my content more, and this just kind of seems like a no-brainer. And as for the $25 giveaway, Sizzle.gg is gonna PayPal 2 of you that sign up for a free account. So it's free money. Go sign up at the link in the description down below. Start getting some free content for your social media channels, and maybe even get $25 for, I guess, whatever you need $25 for. A new game, new skins, whatever you want. Back to the video. Let's jump into the Yeti GX and let's just immediately dive into the good. I love Logitech's new microphone design that they're going for. It takes a lot of design nods from their XLR dynamic mic, the Sona they released recently, with the one-sided arm, which I really like, the brush metal enclosure, and the 50/50 design of the microphone. I gotta say, I like the way this looks. Plus, the RGB they added to it is clean. Not just a little light up G, but this really smooth, really well-diffused ring on the bottom that I'll get into more later. Another thing that I would consider a huge upgrade for streamers is that it's a dynamic mic, meaning it's gonna get rid of a lot of the sounds from the side and the rear. Things like AC running in the room, keyboard and mouse clicks, or people talking in the background. They're not gonna pick up as much in this microphone because dynamics are very, very proximity sensitive. You should be about 3 to 4 inches away from it and directly in front of it, otherwise it doesn't pick you up very well at all. Also, props Logitech. I like that you made it very clear on the box what part you're supposed to talk into, because you know you're still gonna get some people talking into it like this. Don't do that, talking to the top. And I do also have to say, for the sound quality, I was impressed with it after I added Blue Voice. And if you're looking for music for your YouTube videos, you should check out streambeats.com and download all the tracks for free. And if you're looking for some music for your YouTube videos, you should check out streambeats.com and download all the tracks for free. But once I activated Blue Voice and messed around with some of the settings, I actually got it to sound really good. So far, the microphone's looking pretty good. And out of the box, for a microphone, it is. The problem started once I started looking into the features. Dislike number 1, I don't like Logitech G Hub. I've never had a good experience with G Hub. Even just messing with it, there were a ton of bugs. I couldn't adjust the gain without it jumping back to the preset gain. I tried to download some custom audio presets other people had made from their marketplace, and they just never showed up where they were supposed to show up. But more importantly, I hate the level of permissions that G Hub requires you to grant it. I feel like I'm giving it way too much access to my computer just to run a microphone. Like, there's no need for that. Dislike number 2, there's still no mixing software with this, similar to what we get with the Beacon microphone or the Elgato microphone. Even Razer's microphone shipped with some kind of mixing software, even though it was really poorly done. Now, I know that nowadays a lot of these solutions, you can plug in any microphone into it, and so it's not really necessary to ship with it anymore. However, in order for me to use this with Elgato Wavelink, I have to have some kind of Elgato Wave product like a Stream Deck Plus. And that is an additional $200 purchase just to get the mixing capabilities. However, if you were already planning on getting a Stream Deck, then it doesn't matter. But I have to say, the main feature missing from this that confused me was the lack of a headphone jack. The reason I love having a headphone jack built into my microphone is I like to be able to hear my voice back into my ears without any delay. And if I were to plug this into my PC and then plug my headphones into my PC and monitor that way, I would get enough of a delay, enough of a latency that it would make it almost impossible for me to talk. It ends up being that speech jammer challenge, if any of you remember that.
And I would also like green peppers and onions.
Now, I've found the streaming community to be very split on that feature. Some of you hate monitoring your voice in your headphones. Some of you can't live without it. And I'm in that second group. If I can't hear what I sound like in my own headphones, I end up screaming at the microphone. But it's a large enough feature that I feel like this microphone has already ostracized half of the potential audience. So while half of you don't care about it, I'd say it's a deal breaker for the other half of you, and it seems like a weird feature to just leave out of a $150 microphone. So do I recommend this microphone? I think it's a cool, simple microphone that sounds pretty good, and it's got very simple controls. You have a mute button, you have some cool RGB, and you have a gain knob, which then you can click in order to lock that gain in place. Plus, you can mount this onto a boom arm either directly on the side of the microphone here or at the bottom of this cool little sidearm thing. So it really just depends on how much you agree with my dislikes or not. And if you're just looking for a beautiful dynamic microphone in this price range that sounds good and has cool RGB, this is kind of the only one. So do with that what you will. Let's jump to the Orb. This is the Yeti Orb. This seems like a direct successor to the Snowball, but with an updated design that I think looks really cool. And that's it. We got some simple RGB on there, a little stand for it, and 2 mounting holes, so you can decide if you want it to aim up if it's on your desk or go straight into the bottom if it's on an arm, which I feel like they didn't have to do, but they did anyway. So thanks for that. The thing is, it's a $60 microphone and it sounds fine and it looks cool. And so that's a win in my book. That's where you could have stopped. But Logitech did a Logitech thing that really bothers me. They've done it in the past, I've brought it up before, and they're still doing it. They over-advertise and they give you some false promises that when you test them, just aren't real at all. One of the biggest features they're advertising is that it's able to focus on your voice, and actually I'm just gonna read it for you. Focused on your voice, condenser mic capsule optimizes your voice, ignoring noises that get in the way of your play. Basically saying that it picks up your voice, it doesn't pick up your keyboard and mouse clicks. And then next to it is a picture of the microphone on the desk, right next to the mouse and keyboard, about 2 or 3 feet away from the person talking. So I tested this. This is a pretty quiet mouse and keyboard, but it'll function, I guess. Do you hear that over my voice? How well do you hear this compared to my voice? Now let's turn on Blue Voice because it's got some noise reduction added into it. See if that helps maybe? You know, maybe as I'm talking while this is going on, you don't hear anything because of the noise reduction. Do you hear anything at all? Is it focusing on my voice like it's supposed to? This is just made up. Oh no. Like Logitech, you have to stop doing this. I already had to call you out with your stream cam where you took DSLR footage and pretended it was from your webcam. Then you still did it again with your Brio that Frank P had to call you out for, and now you're doing it again with the Orb. This is a $60 microphone and it sounds fine and has RGB. It's already better than any other $60 microphone. Don't do this stuff. It's weird. Anyway, I just gotta move on from that, but this microphone also has the same Blue Voice features, including voice changing and samples built right into Logitech G Hub as the other Yeti GX. And if you're looking for music for your YouTube videos, you should check out streambeats.com and download all the tracks for free. I can memorize lines. Now let's talk about the Litra Beam LX. How shiny am I getting? This room has gotten so hot since I started filming. The Litra Beam, which I called Litra Beam when the first one came out, but I really liked that light. I actually used it for my stream because I liked how simple and clean it was mounted right above my monitor. In fact, there were 2 reasons I got rid of it. First of all, it is kind of a one-dimensional light. So it's got diffusion going left to right, or I guess in whichever direction you orient it, but it has no diffusion going the other way. So while that's not a deal breaker, I noticed that it wasn't as good as the lighting I was used to in my YouTube videos, and I had other professional lights, and I swapped it out. The other reason I swapped it out was I didn't like how it interfaced with G Hub. It would create presets for every game that I launched. So if I turned the light off and then launched a game where it was set to be on, the light would just turn on its own. I'm about 3,000 miles from my PC right now, so I don't know if they ever got rid of that and I can just use it as a light, but I did enjoy the light. I feel like this time around with the Litra LX, they turned it into something really, really unique. They've now turned it into 2 lights. So 1 light on the front, 1 light on the back. And the front light is a bicolor face light that can transition between a warmer orangey light to a cooler blue light so that you can get it to light your skin tones perfectly. And on the back is a fully controllable RGB array, which is super cool. And like, it's not just like, oh, it's shining blue now. Like, you have so much control over what this light does. You can even completely control, like, it was either 8 or 9 different RGB zones on the light, totally individually. And you can make custom animations with their RGB animation animator. Did I say animation animator? Animation creator? I think it was animation builder. That's what it was. I mean, it's pretty wild how far you can take it. And you can also do the same thing with the RGB ring on the bottom of the Yeti GX. So for those of you who have maybe a secondary stream camera to the side or maybe behind you that shows your setup, you can now not only light your face, but with the same light that's only $150, you can also light up your entire wall in front of you. I gotta say, this is probably one of the most creative streamer light ideas I've seen. And whoever brought this to the table at Logitech, give that one a raise. So I will link to all 3 of these in the description down below. And while you're down there, hit the like button. You're still watching, you obviously enjoyed the video. Maybe leave your favorite emoji in the comments for engagement. And as always, happy streaming.